Aloha family. It has been a while since I've been on YouTube, but I want to share about the immensity of the shifts that are happening and why this frequency of the lighthouse is coming in so profoundly, and why I'm starting this container, this beautiful place where we can all meet to share what is moving through us collectively and to feel a space and a place that's safe and supportive and also guided. We're undergoing this massive collective awakening, and we have been for a while. For me, it started about 12 years ago, I guess, 2011, 2012. And prior to that, I had lived, I guess, a quote unquote normal life, the life of creating a career, making a good living, getting married, having kids, having a house. And on the outside, when you have that kind of a life, everything looks perfect. You know, you have friends that envy your life. And it seems as if that's the goal, doesn't it? But what happens when you reach the goals that you've been told by society to want, and then those goals leave you feeling empty? Leave you feeling like there's nothing else to strive for. This question would pop into my head like, is this it? Is this life? Is there nothing beyond this? And this inner questioning, wow, really began to lead me down a pathway that, had I known what I was going to have to walk through, I probably wouldn't have embarked on that journey in the first place. It's like when you climb and you reach the summit of the mountain, and then you fall all the way to the bottom again. And the feeling of unbelievable loss. And what happened for me was I was inundated with everybody who I had surrounded myself with, my friends, my family, my coworkers, and this continuing narrative of like, this is just a midlife crisis. Go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Get on a medication. You're just depressed. Don't blow up your life. Like, the grass is not greener on the other side. Like, all of this well-intended advice. And yet there was this inner push that is very hard to put into words. It was this inner nudging that was like, it's time for you to take the path less traveled. And that voice would not be ignored. And it caused a lot of confusion and heartache within me, a lot of not knowing what to do, a lot of just such intense anxiety, stress. It was like facing off with this part of myself that was like, am I actually going insane? Am I losing my mind? Am I crazy? And the one thing that I longed for was somebody to talk to. Somebody who I could talk to that could hold and understand the process that I was in, that at the time I couldn't name. That person who could just be that lifeline, that beacon of light, that sense of stable, keep going in that direction. And I didn't have that. That didn't exist for me. That was elusive to me. And so all I could do, and I'm just so grateful for the part of my being that allowed me to take that jump off the abyss, to leap off the cliff, to come down the mountain that I had so perfectly built, and to let it all go, to completely dismantle everything I had spent my young adult life building and trying to achieve and achieving it, and surrender to letting it all go. And that was my initiation. That was we call it like the dark night of the soul, the complete unraveling of life as you've known it. And I've seen how that moment, that precipice, that in a way, come to your own soul moment, come to God moment, come to your feminine Christ moment. That medicine that I went through 12 years ago is coming for the collective of humanity. Maybe not in the exact same form, shape, or journey that I took, but in a way for whatever is your safety zone, whatever is your comfort zone. However you've built a life in order to feel a sense of belonging, or your anchor points, essentially, what anchors you to the identity that you have built. Because that is what is going to be taken. We're literally moving into a storm where so much is going to be asked to let go of, and there's a good possibility that you'll feel like you're lost at sea. You feel like you're drowning. No sense of direction. A sense of fear. Deep sense of loss and grief. And what will pull you through is the ones who have already walked through it. Because I realize this revelation that as I look back on myself at that time, I've become the person that I so longed to have. That one who could truly understand the depth of the letting go, the sorrow, the questioning, the wondering, the possibility of facing off with not knowing who I was at any level, and one that could actually hold that. So it didn't feel so lonely, so isolated, so forsaken. And there is beings on this planet, a few who I'm so grateful to call my soul family, who have also truly gone to the depths and released everything so that they could know who they were through that journey, and it is like this hero's journey. And I think the thing that the Lighthouse can do is give you solace and give you the safe place to express and know that you are held and understood and not judged for whatever it is that you are moving through. Because there's nothing that in this journey into the underworld, I feel like at this point, there's nothing that I have not faced off with within myself, within humanity, within what has been created in this world. And there's so many facets and so many different ways that the journey can appear. And it's like the lighthouses have seen into all of them. They've shone light into all of them. They have not looked away from anything. They have fully faced off with the depths of what you would call the shadow, what you would call depravity, what you would call like the worst horrors that humans have perpetrated on humans and the earth. And so there's this ability to hold this, the eye in the storm, the steadiness, the stableness, the knowing, the ability to hold the space for whatever it is that you need to move through during this time of great change. And the wisdom streams of consciousness that when you've emptied out of everything, when you've truly released attachment, it's as if you're empty and you are filled with the light of creation, of soul, of radiance, of clarity, of intuition, clear seeing. And so it allows one to hold a depth of faith, no matter what the storm brings. When everything is being destroyed around you, to have a stable eye is what can get you through the storm. And so this lighthouse container, I feel like it's me giving back to that one who needed what I now am able to carry, what I now am able to hold. And in that becoming, there's just this knowing in my heart and my soul, and the more expanded sophionic consciousness that these winds of change are bringing. That this is a place of refuge where you truly can come to rest, to restore, to express, to move, to feel held, to feel supported, to feel some sense of belonging, even when the storm is tearing you apart, because it does in so many ways. And I'll share some of my experiences at other points in this journey of the lighthouse. But the moments of shattering, of pure sorrow, grief, wailing on the floor for everything that's been lost, and knowing that every single moment of loss, of release and letting go was making more space for the light to enter. And the thing is, on the other side of it all, there's a realization that you were never not safe, that everything was making you, molding you, bringing you into this inner wisdom and stability and refining you and making you more light, because everything that you tether to is a weight. And when you're carrying weight, you can't rise. You can't become light. Your clarity is foggy. It's like you don't get a clear lens. And the more that you let go and the more that you release and the lighter you become, the more clear everything becomes, the more synchronistic, the more healed. You know, we don't realize the depth of the trauma that we're carrying around, the little nudges of our soul on this journey that we so easily ignore because it causes a little bit of discomfort. We have lost our ability to hold discomfort and move through it without distracting ourselves. And there's practices and there's somatic feeling and movement that can help release these things. There's acupuncture points that we can work with. And there's just energy that we can exchange with one another. So this is a complete trust fall for me, the Lighthouse. I'm not even sure how it's going to come to be. There's so much wisdom and codes coming in about creation, about immaculate conception, about gestation and birthing and crowning. Like, these are the womb codes. And as I'm moving into, especially through this solstice portal that we're in, very much feeling into the matriarch, the mother, the crone energy, one who has retained her blood and retaining her wisdom, retaining the maximum fire, the ability to hold blood and create with it and hold the wisdom. And so it's an interesting time to also be allowing this to come through, this kind of sacred birth portal time into the world. And I'm really curious, and I also feel this playful, boundless energy around who will be called to this feeling of this clarion call, this energetic frequency that will touch some, that will feel it. And so that is you, please send me a message. I will put my email in the comments below. And I'm not even sure how I'll do this yet. Maybe a Zoom, maybe gatherings. I feel I will be traveling to various different node points on Gaia's body through these coming months. You know, and I just want to say, because that's another thing that's really kind of coming through right now. When we touch into our meridians, and I've practiced Chinese medicine and acupuncture, so that's where this is coming from and teaching me. The meridians and the node points, they line up and are a perfect mirror to the ley lines and the node points on Gaia. And there will be certain parts of our body sometimes that kind of light up, that we feel. Can be a twinge, it could be electrical shock, it could be a little bit tight, it could feel like an expansion or a bubble. Can have a lot of different feelings, but if you tune into your body, oftentimes this is the way that we can tune into various points upon Mother Earth and perhaps be called there. And this is what's really happening in this moment for me. I've been here on the Big Island of Hawaii for the last couple years, and am feeling this movement happening now, these places in my body that want to connect with various places on the earth that hold very specific frequencies as well. And I'll talk more about that in another video. But this organic process of allowing this lighthouse to birth from within me and recognizing that I am a midwife of the process and following the guide of spirit, of Christ consciousness, of Sophia Christ consciousness, and Yeshua Christ consciousness, which has been such a guide of light for me to always tune into within myself. And this whole creation is coming through those streams of consciousness. And so I am but a midwife of it, a humble servant of it, to that energy and to the energy of humanity and this process of truly what is a death, a resurrection, and a rebirth. You know, this death is likened to this crucifixion, but we are letting parts of ourselves that are no longer serving where we are moving into to literally die on the cross in order that the totality of our being and our light become resurrected. And this is an incredible process to be on together. And so if any of this calls to you, or if you have any questions, please send me an email and I will keep you posted, and I will continue to share more about this container and the energies that come through with you as we go as well. I'm sending you all so much blessings and aloha from this beautiful, fertile land of Hawaii that truly is New Earth. One of the most active volcanoes, Kilauea, here, has been going off every single month for 2 years and creating more New Earth and more magma that is the fires meeting the waters in this very remote place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the mountain tops of Lemuria. So very, very powerful place of remembering here. And with that, I'll leave you with, again, an abundance of aloha and blessings of love. And if you feel the call to the lighthouse, it would be my honor to be a guide and a light and a friend and a sister. Aloha for now, and much love.